Hello, Tigers! In The Boys universe, many characters are portrayed differently in the comics compared to the series. In today's video, we'll discuss the characters who stood out the most in the comics, some of whom have completely different stories from what's shown in the series. As always, leave your like on today's video, subscribe to our channel, and let's finally get to today's video. Homelander. In the comics, Homelander displays an impressive level of power. His strength is immense, allowing him to easily perform incredible feats like destroying structures and effortlessly taking on multiple opponents. His invulnerability makes him nearly immune to harm, and he can emit powerful heat rays from his eyes, capable of destroying almost anything. He can also fly at incredible speeds, hear sounds from great distances with precision, and see through solid objects except lead. Homelander's personality in the comics is even darker and more sadistic than in the TV series. He lacks empathy and shows deep contempt for human life. His facade as a perfect hero hides a cruel, psychopathic, and egocentric individual. He is manipulative, using his charm and charisma to maintain public appearances while committing horrible and immoral acts behind the scenes without remorse. One of the most impactful aspects of Homelander's story in the comics is his relationship with Black Noir. Black Noir. There are significant differences between Black Noir's portrayal in the comics and the TV series. In the comics, his story and identity are much darker and more impactful. In the comics, Black Noir is one of the most mysterious members of the Seven, rarely speaking or showing his face. His appearance is intimidating, always dressed in a complete black suit that covers his entire body. He is a highly trained and deadly fighter, with hand-to-hand combat skills that make him a formidable threat. The most shocking revelation in the comics is that Black Noir is actually a clone of Homelander, created by Vought American as a contingency to kill Homelander should he become uncontrollable. This secret identity adds a deep layer of complexity to the story. Black Noir is kept secret, waiting for the right moment to fulfill his mission. Throughout the comics, it's suggested that many of the horrible acts attributed to Homelander were actually committed by Black Noir, exacerbating Homelander's paranoia and mental instability. When the truth finally comes to light, it leads to an epic confrontation between the two, culminating in one of the series' most dramatic moments. In the TV series, Black Noir is portrayed somewhat differently. He remains a silent and lethal character, but his identity and origin are not explored in the same way as in the comics. Instead, the series focuses more on his actions and presence as a member of the Seven, without the shocking revelation of his true identity. Queen Maeve. Her real name is Maggie Shaw, and she is a parody of DC Comics' Wonder Woman, with abilities and a story that reflect and subvert many classic hero themes. In the comics, Queen Maeve is portrayed as an extremely powerful woman with superhuman strength, invulnerability, and exceptional combat abilities. Her strength is comparable to Homelander's, making her one of the few who could potentially face him in a fight. Additionally, she has incredible durability, able to withstand damage that would be fatal to normal humans. Despite her incredible abilities, Queen Maeve is deeply scarred by her traumas and regrets. Initially, she had noble intentions and wanted to be a true hero, but constant corruption and manipulation by Vought American turned her into a cynical and disillusioned figure. She struggles with alcoholism and despair, trying to find some remnants of her old idealization of heroism. In the TV series, Queen Maeve, played by Dominique McElligott, is similarly depicted, focusing on her internal struggles and the facade of a powerful heroine she maintains in public. Her relationship with Homelander is complex, marked by fear, resentment, and a history of emotional and physical abuse. The series also explores her relationship with Elena, adding a layer of vulnerability and humanity to her character. A-Train. His real name is Reggie Franklin. In the comics, A-Train is portrayed as a young, arrogant, and selfish individual. He is obsessed with maintaining his position in the Seven, which leads him to make reckless and often dangerous decisions. His super speed, granted by Compound 5, allows him to run at incredible speeds, making him one of the fastest beings on the planet. However, this obsession with power and fame also makes him deeply insecure, constantly fearing being replaced by someone faster or more popular. A-Train is responsible for several morally questionable and criminal acts. One of the most significant events is when he accidentally kills Huey Campbell's girlfriend Robin while running at high speed under the influence of drugs. This incident is a major catalyst for the formation of the Boys team and Huey's mission to take down the Supers. In the TV series, A-Train, played by Jesse T. Usher, shares many of the same characteristics as in the comics, including his arrogance and his drug addiction to enhance his performance. The series delves deeper into his internal struggles and the pressure he faces to maintain his status in the Seven. He also has a redemption and self-discovery arc, where he faces the consequences of his actions, especially after suffering an injury that threatens his career. Stormfront. In the comics, Stormfront is a man, one of the first superheroes created by Germans during World War II. He is a member of the Payback team and possesses abilities including super strength, flight, and the ability to manipulate electricity. He displays an arrogant and sadistic attitude, enjoying the violence and suffering he causes to others. His presence in the comics serves as a direct critique of the glorification of superheroes without considering the moral implications of their powers and ideologies. Kimiko. In the comics, Kimiko is a young mutant who underwent painful experiments at the hands of vowed American. She has superhuman abilities, including strength, agility, and highly advanced regenerative abilities. Her experience as a test subject left her deeply traumatized and with difficulties in verbal communication. Kimiko's lack of verbal communication, combined with her intense anger and desire for revenge against Vote American, makes her an unpredictable and sometimes threatening presence. However, her connection with Frenchie, a member of the boys, and later with the rest of the team, reveals a more vulnerable and human side. She finds in Frenchie a protective and compassionate figure who helps her overcome her traumatic past and reintegrate into society in a more positive way. In the TV series, Kimiko is initially introduced as an enigmatic and lethal figure whose quest for vengeance against the supers who tortured her puts her at odds with the boys. Throughout the series, her story is explored more deeply, revealing her real name, Kenji Miyashiro, and her past as a young Japanese woman who lost her family to Vote American's regime of experiments. The Frenchman. In the comics, the Frenchman is a highly skilled hand-to-hand combat specialist with a notable talent for improvisation and using weapons. His origin is shrouded in mystery, but he is described as having a complex personal history that led him to join the boys. He is known for his accent and his attachment to his French heritage, which adds a touch of humor and cultural identity to the group. The Frenchman's relationship with the other members of the boys, especially with Billy Butcher, is crucial to the team's dynamics. He is seen as a reliable and loyal ally, capable of facing superheroes with determination and courage. His presence in the team balances Butcher's pragmatism with a sense of humanity and camaraderie, making him an essential character in the fight against the super's abuses of power. Mother's Milk. His real name is Marvin T. Milk, and he is one of the most fundamental members of the boys, bringing a unique blend of skills, knowledge, and strong ethics. In the comics, Mother's Milk is known for his superhuman strength, acquired due to exposure to Compound 5 in his youth. This exposure not only granted him extraordinary physical abilities, but also created a biological bond with the substance, requiring him to regularly ingest it to maintain his health and strength. This condition adds a layer of complexity to the character, showing how he is physically linked to the world of supers despite his distrust and aversion to them. In addition to his strength, Mother's Milk is portrayed as a skilled strategist and a man of solid moral principles. His experience and knowledge are invaluable to the boys, helping them plan and execute their missions effectively against corrupt superheroes. He also serves as a voice of reason within the group, often balancing Billy Butcher's more violent tendencies with a sense of ethics and justice. In the TV series, Mother's Milk, portrayed by Laz Alonso, maintains many of the same characteristics as his comic book counterpart. His personal story is explored more deeply, revealing his dedication to his family and his ongoing conflict with the effects of Compound Fifi on his life. His relationship with the other members of the boys, especially with Billy Butcher, is a central part of the series' dynamics, highlighting his loyalty and commitment to the cause of fighting the super's abuse of power. Billy Butcher. He is one of the most complex and controversial characters in the series, known for his intense determination to combat corrupt superheroes, regardless of the means necessary. In the comics, Billy Butcher is portrayed as a former British Secret Service (MI6) agent who becomes the leader of the boys after a traumatic event involving his wife Becky and the superhero Homelander. He is depicted as a charismatic, cunning, and violent man, determined to expose the true nature of supers and Vought American, the corporation that controls them. His personality is marked by a deep hatred and mistrust towards superheroes, shaped by his personal experiences and the loss he has suffered. Butcher is known for his relentless and often brutal approach to achieving his goals. He does not hesitate to use violence and manipulation to achieve his ends, often putting him at odds with other members of the boys who question his methods. His relationship with the other members of the team, especially with Mother's Milk and Frenchie, is complex, oscillating between camaraderie and distrust. In the TV series, Billy Butcher, played by Carl Urban, maintains many many traits of his comic book counterpart, but also expands on his personal story and motivations. In the series, he is presented as a man haunted by his past and obsessed with vengeance against Homelander, whom he blames for his wife's death. His determination to destroy the supers leads him to form unlikely alliances and engage in increasingly dangerous situations. I hope you enjoyed the video and comment on what else you'd like to see here on the channel.